So, hello and namaste everyone. Welcome to the another episode of the Nischal Niroula Podcast. So, I don't know why I'm saying the before, and for the podcast, I'm saying the. So, that's something I need to work on. But yeah, welcome to the Nischal Niroula Podcast. And it's a podcast where inspiration meets action and transformation begins. And in this podcast, we dive into the realms of self help, motivation, self improvement, and mental health. And each episode that comes each Tuesday is a gateway to unlocking your potential, arming you with practical tools, and guiding you towards a more fulfilling life. I'm your host Nischal, and I'm super thrilled to have you here in this journey of self improvement and self help. And in today's episode, we are diving headfirst into a topic that's the secret sauce behind some of the greatest success stories in the history, and that is self discipline. You know that inner superhero power that turns dreams into realities, that magic wand that transforms procrastination into productivity. If you have ever wondered how some people seem to have unwavering drive to conquer the goals, we are about to discover the ultimate source of their power, and that is, you guessed it correct, self discipline. So, as always, take a deep breath, grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, because in this episode, we are unboxing the mysteries of self discipline, exploring what it is, why it is absolutely crucial in this fast paced world, and most importantly, how you can cultivate it to supercharge your own journey to success. So get ready for a ride that will leave you inspired, motivated, and armed with the tools to conquer your ambitions like a true champion. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So let's begin with by understanding what self-discipline is. Self-discipline is the ability to push yourself forward, stay motivated, and take action regardless of how you are feeling, either physically or emotionally, or how odds are stacked up against you. You are showing self-discipline when you are intentionally choosing to pursue something better for yourself or pursuing something to change your life, and you do it in spite of factors such as distractions, hard works, or unfavorable odds. So self-discipline is that ability to wake up in the morning, wake up 4 a.m. in the morning and go for that 1 mile or even 10-mile run. It's the force that comes from within that kicks you out of your bed to go to the gym in the morning when it's 1 degree Celsius or even minus or even zero, and you wake up in the morning, you go to the gym, you are lifting heavy weights. See, no one wants to do that. Not even the greatest of bodybuilders want to do that. But it's the self-discipline that pushed them to go to the gym to lift those heavy weights. And that was the success factor for them. See, self-discipline is something that keeps you awake until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or even 4 or 5, or like sleepless nights to work on your side hustle, to work on your project, to work on your app, to learn new skills. See, when I signed up for the first marathon, it was half marathon, when I was about to run the half marathon, 5 days before the half marathon, I broke my ligament. I didn't break my ligament, I strained my ligament very badly. But I still showed up for the marathon and I still finished that race. I had the option to quit it or to say that I have another chance to run another marathon, just stay in home, but I couldn't do that because I was working too hard to achieve that one goal, and it's that self-discipline that woke me up in the morning. Actually, I'll be honest, I couldn't sleep the whole night before the marathon because one, my feet was hurting too bad, and it's still not healed properly. It's still hurting when I walk, like even a mile it hurts now. But I couldn't sleep all night, before the marathon. I woke up around at like 4 a.m. The marathon started at 6:30 something, and I Ubered onto the starting line because I couldn't walk, but I still showed up for the race. And when I was standing on the start line, I was feeling my legs. It was still hurting, and I was questioning myself, like, why am I doing this? I could ruin my leg, or this could lead to something worse. But when I heard the starting sound, when I started running, I ran non-stop for 13 and a half kilometers something. Even though I was in huge pain, I distracted myself. I was so motivated to finish it. I was so passionate about crossing that finish line that I ran until the 13th kilometer, and I couldn't run. I couldn't even walk the rest of the way because I literally was feeling my legs so bad. Because I hopped on one leg, I limped, I dragged myself across the finish line, and I was supposed to complete the race before 1 hour 45 minutes mark, but it took me almost 3 hours to finish the race. But when I finished it, I almost cried because it was a victory for me. I did it. Like, even though my leg, I couldn't walk, I Ubered back home. I didn't go to work for a few days. I stayed in my home, but I had the marathon medal with me, the medal that I got after I finished the finishing line. That medal that I have in my room, it's a victory for me. It's a victory against myself. It's a victory for my motivation, for my self-discipline. And now I know that I can achieve anything in my life because I did that, and I'm so very proud of myself. And this is all because of self-discipline. I was self-disciplined to train for the run. I was self-disciplined to wake up and go to the start line and finish the race. And I'm happy, I'm proud and happy. Yeah, so enough about me. Let's talk about self-discipline, right? So self-discipline it's different from self-motivation or willpower. Motivation and willpower, they contribute to it, as do persistence and the ability to follow through on your intentions and hard work. But it's different. There are different terms. So motivation means you wake up one morning and you are motivated to do something that you wanted to do for a few weeks now, or even a year now, and you do it for one day. Let's say you meditated. So you woke up one day, you feel motivated to meditate, and you meditated that day. And next day you woke up, but you were not motivated to do that meditation, so you didn't do it next day, and that next day became a week, became a month, became a year, and you didn't meditate again. But self-discipline is, you wake up, you meditate. The first thing you do is you meditate, because you know the benefits of meditation. You know what happens when you meditate and what happens when you don't meditate. You are not motivated, you are self-disciplined to do that. And that's the difference between self-discipline and motivation. Of course, motivation helps, or motivation contributes for self-discipline, but they are different terms. So now, as we have understood what self-discipline is, let us try to understand why it is important to work on our self-discipline. So self-discipline, it is useful in many areas in our lives. It could positively affect your relationship, your personal life, your professional life, your hobbies, or even whatever sports you play, and everything needs self-discipline. It pushes you to do high quality work even when you don't have the feeling for it. Even if you are very low on enthusiasm, it pushes you to give the best out of whatever you do. Even if it's very courageous goal that you set on yourself, like running a marathon or climbing a mountain or doing something that you thought was impossible for you, but if you are self-disciplined, then that self-discipline gives you the strength, the ability, the power to go after whatever you want to do. And You can do it. If you are self-disciplined, then you can achieve anything in your life. It enables you to keep going through, to keep pushing forward until you reach the place where most of the people think it's very hard or it's almost impossible to get there. But when you are self-disciplined enough, you'll reach heights which you didn't even know existed. And it doesn't only stop there, it can also improve your learning and enhance performance. Research has shown that students with higher degree of self-discipline retain more knowledge than those with very less or without self-discipline. Researchers discovered that students with strong self-discipline are more careful in their tasks, which improves their ability. And it also shows that measuring a person's level of self-discipline is a more accurate predictor of success than measuring their IQ. So self-discipline is very important. It's one of the founding fathers or one of the founding pillars of your success and the dream that you have seen. If you are not self-disciplined, then sorry my friend, you are not going to achieve whatever dream you have. So stop being a couch potato. Start and focus on your life. Stay motivated, stay self-disciplined, and work on what you see yourself 5 years or 10 years down the line. You are not going to wake up one day and feel all successful and happy and healthy. You have to work from now. You have to start working now to reach there. So you know what to do, and I hope you guys start to do that today if you are not already self-disciplined. I hope you understood what self-discipline and what are the benefits of self-discipline are. Now let's look into some of the strategies on how to develop a self-disciplined life. So self-discipline, it's like a muscle. The more you work on developing it and using it, the stronger it will become. But it's just as important not to start out with goals that are too ambitious. Don't think that I'm self-disciplined enough to go to the moon or climb a mountain in a month. So that's very ambitious. I'm not saying you can't do that, but don't start out that way. Instead, set small goals and increase the level of challenge slowly over time. The more you practice, the better you'll become. And here are the 5 steps to start developing your self-discipline. Number 1, choose a goal. Begin by choosing just one goal that you want to focus on to develop your self-discipline. If you want to lose weight, make a thought or write it down on a notepad or mark it out in your calendar saying that I'll lose 5 kgs of weight or 10 kgs of weight in a month or in 2 months or in even 6 months. Make a goal, and to achieve that goal, be self-disciplined and work on that goal every day. Go to the gym regularly or start eating healthy foods. Discard all of those junk foods and those sodas and everything. If that's too much for you, we can start even smaller. For example, like I know all of us spend hours each day looking at our phone, reading our messages, making videos, looking at our notifications. Practice self-discipline by not looking at your phone for an hour or turning off your phone for an hour, and try to do something productive in that time. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles start with a single step. Starting small is the best way to start developing your self-discipline. As your discipline gets stronger, you can spread the focus to more areas in your life. But make sure that your goals are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And try to break the goal down into smaller sub goals whenever you can. So it's easy to stay disciplined and easy to achieve that goal. Number 2, find your motivation. Once you have chosen a goal, list the reasons why you want to achieve it. Try to express these reasons in a very positive way. So instead of saying I want to exercise 3 times a week to lose weight, say I want to exercise so that I can have more energy to play with my kids and work successfully. Or instead of saying I want to get this task off my to-do list, say I want to do this task so that I can meet my objectives, get praise from my boss, and feel satisfied with my day's work. I'll say you a very fun story of mine. So 2 years ago, I was hitting 80 kgs. I was 79.8 something, and that's when I decided that I need to change my body. This is not me. And when I first started working out, when I first started running, I couldn't even run on the treadmill for even few minutes. And what I used to think to motivate myself is, I used to think that if somewhere someday I saw some Manchester United players, because I'm a huge Manchester United fan, right? So if I see some Manchester United players and they are in a distance where if I ran, I could meet them, or they could sign me an autograph or take a picture or whatever. But if I don't work out now, I'll miss that chance and I'll never be able to meet them in person in future. So I used to motivate myself like that. I know it's a very fun thing. I know, like, I might never even see them again, or yeah, but I used to motivate myself saying that to myself. So instead of saying that I will run 30 minutes in this treadmill in this space, try to come up with very positive reason for yourself to stay disciplined, to finish what you are trying to do. Because when you list the reasons why you want to achieve something, you'll find it much easier to get the job done. Number 3, identify obstacles. Now, you need to identify the obstacles that you likely face when working towards your goal and come up with a strategy for overcoming each one. For example, imagine that your goal is to read one leadership book a week to enhance your leadership skills. And in the past, we have faced a number of obstacles in reaching this goal. For example, when you find a book you like, it's hard to find time each night to read. Between work, uni, your projects, your time is taken up until late in the evening, and you get distracted by messages coming in while you are reading. Once you have identified obstacles, come up with a strategy to overcome each one. For example, instead of going to the bookstore, spend an hour looking at leadership books online and find several that interest you and that have very good reviews. Order all of those books or download them in your iPad or your tablet or your Kindle so that you always have a book on hand to read. By the way, since I'm doing my masters in IT, I come across various IT related books and articles, and if I download them, I'll upload them again in my website. So if you just go to www.nixfolio.com, you'll find a tab called resource. If you click on resource, you'll find design related resources, development related resources, and book related resources from where you can download anything that you find useful. So back on self-discipline, and find more time in a day to focus on reading. Perhaps you could read during a lunch hour, or while you are waiting to pick your lunch, or when you are traveling in a train, in a tram. Just find those small blocks of time and try to squeeze that reading time into those, because even if you read 1 page or 2 pages during that time, it's a great start, right? And the most important thing, always turn off your phone when you want to focus on reading. If you are just casually reading, then it's fine. But if you want to focus, if you want to gain knowledge on what the book actually holds, then it's very good idea to turn your phone off. Often our self-discipline crumbles because we haven't identified the obstacles that we'll face, and we haven't developed strategies to overcome them. When these obstacles show up, we are unprepared to deal with them, and this shakes our resolve. So don't skip this step. If you are very serious about your goal, think of the obstacles that you may find in your way, and try to come up with the strategies that you will use to overcome those. Number 4, replace old habits. When we are developing self-discipline, we are often trying to break a bad habit and replace it with something more productive. But if that habit is tied into a certain time of the day or routine, breaking it can leave a hole. If we don't replace that habit with something else, then its absence becomes even more noticeable, and you are likely to go back to the same old bad habit. A good example is that you are trying to stop yourself online shopping or window shopping when you take a break at work. This bad habit destroys your focus and attention and probably money, because you are likely to be online for 20 to 30 minutes each time. And once you have resolved to stop, identify a new behavior that you can engage in when you need a quick break. Instead of online shopping, you could do some stretches in your office or do some push-ups. Get a cup of coffee or take a quick walk outside. These behaviors will help to support your goal and strengthen your self-discipline. Instead of leaving you with nothing to do on a break, you now have something productive to do. And number 5, monitor your progress. As you work on your self-discipline, pay attention to how you are feeling as it develops and strengthens. You might feel free, happy, proud, more strong, and energized. Also, think about keeping a journal to write down your self-discipline goals and to track your progress. It could be very basic. Sunday you did push-ups, you couldn't even do one. I was in a phase when I couldn't even push my body off the ground. I couldn't even do one push-ups. But you stayed self-disciplined and you tried push-ups every morning for every day for weeks. And after a week, next Sunday, you could do now 5 push-ups. And after that week, you did 7. After that week, you did 5 again. But you kept on going, and after a year, you could do like 100 push-ups without breaking a sweat. So, tracking your progress, this reinforces the positive changes that you are implementing in your life. It gives you a record that you can look back on to see the progress that you have made, see how far you have come from, and seeing that will make you proud. So monitor your progress. And over time, your self-discipline will strengthen and you'll be able to apply it on lots of other areas of your life as well. Apart from all these strategies, try to avoid distractions. Whenever you are working on some goal or working on something, try to avoid distractions as much as you can. And don't ever let a fear of failure or occasional setback discourage you. Because all of us experience setbacks and failures, and they are part of our life, right? Acknowledge that as you slip up, learn the lesson, and move on. As American author and lecturer Jim Rohn once said, you can never conquer the mountain, you can only conquer yourself. These words encapsulate the essence of self-discipline, a force that empowers us to exceed our limitations and climb the peaks of achievements. Think about the most accomplished individuals you admire, whether it's a successful entrepreneur, a renowned artist, or an accomplished athlete. Their achievements are often a testament to the power of self-discipline. We often hear the self-discipline of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's why he is one of the best football players in the world. And it's the force that propels them to rise early, put in the hard work, and stay focused on their goals even when the path ahead seems daunting. Self discipline, it isn't about shifting your desires or leading a monastic life. It's about aligning your actions with your aspirations. It's the ability to resist immediate gratification for the promise of greater rewards in the future. It's waking up early to pursue your dreams while the world still sleeps. It's choosing the salad over the burger, not because it's the easier choice, but because it's the healthier one. But here's the thing, self discipline is not just reserved for a select few. It's a skill that can be cultivated and honed, much like a muscle that we discussed earlier. Just as a weightlifter lifts progressively heavier weights to build strength, you can gradually build up your self discipline by challenging yourself with incremental goals. Start small, people. Choose one area in your life where you wish to exercise more self discipline. Maybe it's dedicating 30 minutes a day to reading, counting down on procrastination, or committing to a regular exercise routine. As you consistently make conscious choices aligned with your goals, you'll notice the muscle of self discipline strengthening. Remember, self discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up even on the days where motivation fades away. It's about recognizing that each step you take, no matter how small, is a stride towards the life you envision. And when you're faced with the choices between what's easy and what's right, always choose self discipline because it holds the key to unlocking your fullest potential. And that brings us towards the end of today's episode. Stay tuned for more insights, inspirations, and practical strategies right here on the Nischal Niroula Podcast. Well, I need to figure out whether I'll be saying the Nischal Niroula Podcast or the Nischal Niroula Podcast, but it doesn't matter because what matters is you going out there, living your life very peacefully, very happily, and achieving your full potential. And remember, as self-discipline as your guiding star, there is no limit to what you can achieve. I'll see you again on next Tuesday with another empowering episode on either motivation, self-help, personal growth. I'm still thinking of some of the topics that I need to talk on, but my mind goes blank sometimes because I have so many things to talk sometimes and I have nothing to talk sometimes. So I'll see you again next Tuesday with a very interesting episode, and I feel like I'm getting better at this podcast game, and I hope you are listening to me right now until the end. So this is Nischal Niroula signing off.